Drew, we really have to talk to the maid because the place is cleaner, but there is a smell. There is an odor. Stings the nostrils.
It's springtime, and the dogs do like to rub themselves into the fresh-cut grass, as it were. At least that's my running theory. We bathed 2 of them tonight.
Yes.
After the first noticing of the aroma, and then they went back out.
Odor.
It's like the funk in the car in the episode of Seinfeld, if you recall. It's an entity, really. They went back out and they found it again and brought it right after their baths.
Yeah.
So it's back.
Nice.
Thanks.
Well,
dogs. Hi,
folks. Here we are again.
Yes.
I would say somewhat unexpectedly. I don't think we expected to get back at it this soon.
No, but here we are.
But here you are joining us again for yet another exciting episode of The Devil's Due, Born Again.
We have a subtitle now.
I think the subtitle applies.
Fine.
At least for a little while.
Fine. Who are you?
I am your host. I was getting there.
Okay.
I've dusted off some of the ring rust from last week. I am your host, Carl Duty. With me, as always, is the man who's going to try and find any way he can to build the bridge from one green tile to the next. But just can't find the way.
I appreciate that reference.
I knew you would. Mr. Drew Celestino.
Hello. Yeah, we just got done playing
World Wonders.
I wanted to say Seven Wonders. It's not Seven Wonders. It's a different game. Yeah, that I wanted to find a way to get that last wonder built with the green tiles, and there just was not a way. There was not a way.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry for taking up so much time. Not really. I'm not sorry.
Not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Drew is somewhat notorious on our game nights for taking long turns.
I'm very meticulous. I like to think through my actions before I commit.
Fair enough.
I waited a decade before proposing to Jen. So.
Okay, so we're back here again. Again, we're just kind of flying by the seat of our pants with this. I think it's more of a sense of we're trying to kind of get back into our flow conversationally before we start to really seriously think about any air finger quotes format.
It's also a matter of figuring out what our priority is in all of this at this point.
Yeah, because like
tables have flipped, man. You're down on everything. I'm kind of mid. I'm even keel on everything.
You're leveled off.
I'm not up, but I'm leveled off.
So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff happened this week, and
I still like to talk about stuff.
Yeah, a lot of stuff happened this week. I was looking at news stories, I was like, 30 different sites cover this.
But here's the thing: a lot happened in this week, and as it magically turns out, you put out the bat signal, for lack of a better term, for
so
stuff,
folks,
and
what do you want to talk about?
Yeah, by the way, I as I said on Facebook, not an endorsement of Cody Rhodes.
Yes, it is.
Not for me. It's not. Sorry. Not sorry.
Yeah, I'm big. I like Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Bob. So no, sorry, no.
Okay, so yeah, I put out, just say, hey, folks, what do you want to talk about? And folks, y'all
came hard.
So you know what, folks?
Carl forgot the email. You all found Facebook.
Yeah.
Who even has Facebook in 2024?
A lot of people,
apparently they do, yes.
All right, so
do I. I know.
So, sir.
Yeah.
Getting back to some of our old routine, how was your week?
Oh, I wasn't prepared for the how was your week. It has been a requisite week.
Week?
Cromulent. Yeah, like, let's see. Anything eventful happen? No. Let me shine some lights. Because we're back and all. What my weeks have been for the last few months.
The weeks and the months.
Yeah. I've gotten back into my workout routine, and I've been fairly strict on it. So 5 days a week doing my thing. weekends especially an hour a day. So Saturday and Sunday are both 60-minute sessions. And then 3 days during the week, 30 to 45 minutes maybe each time. It's been going good, but I mean, the routine is the routine. So as such, I feel like my last few months have just been a blur of routine. So this week, you ask, nothing too out of the ordinary.
So is this DDP yoga?
It is. It's a great program and it works. So I'm happy with it. I don't have to go to the gym. I don't have any equipment to purchase and then put somewhere in the house that I have to then use. It's all me and the mat, and it works. It's good stuff.
Are you yet able to perform a yoga flame and or a yoga fire?
I cannot produce flame or fire yet. Yes, I know. It's quite disappointing. I may or may not be able to stretch my limbs. It's unclear.
Okay.
I feel like I can. But at the end of the day, I am still, short guy. So it is what it is.
Can you grab someone, repeatedly punch them in the head, and every time you hit them say, yoga, yoga?
I mean, I don't have to pay DDP to do that.
All right, I'm just curious as to where your level
I could
is at
pay
with
DDP
the
to
yoga.
do that. Yeah, no. I could just do that anytime.
Okay.
Yeah, it's my weeks are fairly uneventful these days, as it were.
Yeah.
Average week. Nothing to report. So, how was yours?
Mine was all right. Let's see. We had game night last Friday.
Yes.
Again, it is Friday night as we're recording this. That Saturday, I had a full day of gaming with my friends Adam and Brian. We went from 10 a.m. to about midnight.
Good Lord.
Yeah, it was a good time.
I can't fathom having that kind of
6
time.
hours of that, of which was spent on one game. The game Sleeping Gods from Red Raven Games and designer Ryan Lockett. So you are with Grant Morrison, I am with Ryan Lockett.
Fair, okay.
Games.
So in about 20 years, he's going to get his flowers in Hollywood.
We'll see.
I mean, that's what's happening right now with Grant Morrison.
I am legitimately astonished he is not more famous within board game circles, because
I know the name only because I play board games with you.
Yeah, because he designs the components, he does the artwork for it, he does the rules for it, he does everything on his games with a little bit of help, but the majority is him. And for someone to do this in board games and to do it at the level he does is unheard of.
Well, that's a good that's a good margin for him.
Yeah, his games are beautiful and enjoyable. There have been
he keeps all the money.
Yeah,
so good for him.
Yeah, he is Red Raven Games. It's his company. So, of his games, we've played Rome, which is the game where you got the 6 cards out. They're about tarot card size, and you lay out you've got the cards of your citizens.
Have we played Rome?
Yes, I'm telling you, we've played Rome.
Yeah.
And you can put the tokens based on the movements.
Yeah.
That's his. Ancient World.
We've played Ancient World.
Played for a month straight.
Yep.
Islebound, which you were not.
I'm still iffy on. I know you enjoy it. Yeah.
Because engine builders, I noticed, tend not to be your thing.
Yeah, too much thought. Sometimes I just don't want to think.
We literally just played a game that was all about thinking and pre-planning.
But I like that game. I know, it's weird. It's weird. That game we just played, I've put in the requisite video game training for. So
yeah. So
we'll get to that, but
yeah, we'll get to all this. But Sleeping Gods is not a legacy game, per se. A legacy game is a game you can essentially play through once.
And that's it?
Yeah. You do things like destroy cards or alter cards. It's a singular narrative experience.
Is this like permadeath in a video game, basically? Kind of?
Yeah, it depends on the game.
Fair.
Like, a group of friends and I were playing through Clank Legacy.
Okay.
And you get things, you have a single character that you play throughout the game. And depending what happens in the games, you may end up tearing some cards in half. You may end up like... trust me, it's hard to do the first couple times.
Gonna say, I don't know that I could do it. I don't think I could do that.
At the end of it, like at least for Clank Legacy, you're left with a completely unique board that you can replay in the future.
Okay.
Just not in the legacy style.
So
Sleeping Gods has aspect of a legacy games, but you can essentially, they set up a way where you can save your process. Because it's a narrative driven game where you're getting like encounters. So you're part of this crew of the ship called the Manticore, and you were sailing to New York City in like 1926, and then like a storm happened, basically a Wizard of Oz type thing.
Okay.
Storm happened, and you find yourself in this mystic land, and you have to awaken the sleeping gods so that they can send you back to your home, to New York. And so you're sailing around this archipelago, doing different encounters. In each encounter is you're reading something from a book that gives you a narrative to it. It's really cool. Okay. And we really enjoyed it. So we spent about 6 hours with it.
Good.
I would say, there's a lot to the game. So I would say about an hour and 15 minutes of that is game learning. And then after we just kind of went at it. So that was Saturday. This past Wednesday and Thursday, I went down to Erie, PA. My very good friend Manny Marin was ordained as a minister in a beautiful ceremony. I was honored to be there with his wife, his daughter, my goddaughter, and his parents. And it was a really great time. I just came back from that yesterday. Erie, PA is not a lot there.
No, that's why it's Erie. It's Erie, PA, man. What do you want?
So congratulations to Manny. And then Friday, here I am.
Here we are.
Game night.
Sure.
So, dear listener, Drew did some legwork. If you would like to reach out to us, tell us about your weeks.
Yeah, I looked up the email address that you forgot. We're so back.
You can email us at...
I have to... it's thedevilsdupod@gmail.com.
Or, and this is what I would recommend still using for the time being, message us on Facebook, which a lot of you have. So I think anything that we would discuss has kind of been asked in the comments to this post. So I think we just kind of fire on into it.
Well, let's make it happen, Captain.
All right.
I guess.
So when I asked what do y'all want to talk about...
Again, not an endorsement of Cody Rhodes.
Even though it is.
No, it's not.
All right. So Alan Waiters said... X-Men 97, casting of Galactus, Microsoft closing studios.
He's throwing a lot at us here.
The Bear Season 3, and our days.
Okay.
So we covered our days.
That uneventful and boring.
Bear Season 3, we got a 40-second teaser.
There's not much to it.
And all we know is Carmi is out of the cooler.
He got out of the freezer, thank God.
Yeah.
By the way, as someone who has worked in I worked somewhere with a walk-in freezer. You cannot get locked out of a lock-in freezer. Okay. Locked in, I should say.
Well, it was broken, remember.
They're designed such that can't happen.
Drew, please don't poke holes in the bear. It's one of the few things I'm enjoying right now.
Look, if I didn't work in that place and I did not have that experience, I would be fine with it. But because I did, it's the only sticking point I have with the show. And I'm willing to forego it because the show was so good.
Yeah.
But he's out.
He's out.
So next month they're dropping it all at once.
Yeah. I kind of like the week to week.
Me too. I don't. Look, man.
Because I feel I have to binge it lest I get spoiled something.
Right.
And I don't want to binge. I don't have time to binge.
And I like to sit with things. I like to sit with something and think about it and ponder and, there's something to be said for anticipation. And, when you give it to me all at once, I'm just going to plow through it and remember less of it.
I mean, say what you will about the quality of a lot of the Disney Plus shows that have come out. They taught us to appreciate weekly television again.
Carl, it's funny you mentioned appreciating television again. We're going to get to that, I suppose.
Actually, nobody mentioned that, so we can just fire right on to it.
Okay, cool.
Drew, somehow cable came back.
Cable's back in streaming form. Apparently, we're just hey guys, radical idea. We're going to bundle stuff together as a package and sell it to the consumer so they have lots of options for programming. Yeah, we had that. It was called cable.
Yeah, and Disney Plus is also going to add channels to their different thing where you can just click on it and it'll be showing something. It's cable. It's in POG form.
In cable form. Kind of cable form. We're, of course, referring to the announcement that which they have not announced pricing yet, but Max and Disney Plus are going to bundle with Hulu as well. Okay. Carl, not for nothing. I mean, I just signed up in the last few months, 2 months, for Hulu plus live TV. Because I ditched DirecTV after a lifetime. And dude, I'm paying less than I was paying for DirecTV, and they kicked in the Disney Plus discount effectively I'm paying nothing for Disney Plus and ESPN Plus, which I do not watch, but I shouldn't say that. I don't watch it, but it's the NHL playoffs right now.
Yeah.
And if I'm sitting on the couch at night in the last couple weeks, I'll just throw a game on. And I got a playoff hockey game on, and it's pretty sick. I mean, I'm a Sabres fan, so I haven't experienced that in 13 years, and it's fun to watch the playoffs.
Probably not going to experience it for 13 more either.
That's a bit cynical. I don't believe that. But
have we met the past couple weeks?
I don't believe that. I think I'm as cynical a Sabres fan as there is, and I still think they're closer than not. That said, watching playoff teams play hockey is always like a sobering experience because I can't picture the Sabres going at that level.
Yeah.
And yet, the other side of me goes like, yeah, but you know what? You don't know that until they get there. And then suddenly stakes get raised and heroes are made. Players become something more than what you thought they were. Anyway.
The one thing I wish the streaming services would
bundle
do
all the
with
things.
All these
sure,
bundlings.
Give me Max.
How
I'll tack it into my service.
You know how you've got like Disney Plus and Hulu bundled together now. Mm-hmm. I wish when you booted up the app, there was an option of which one you wanted to go in.
Yeah,
because how you've got that banner up at the top that slides through and shows stuff. When your 8-year-old son is looking at something that says Star Wars and that slides over and it's like American Horror Story or Shogun.
Yeah.
It's like, can I just I don't mind. You want to bundle them together, great. Give me the option of which one I want to look at. Don't shove everything in my face at once.
I agree, but the thing is, that's a Disney Plus problem. Because when you fire up...
That's not a Disney Plus problem because Max, HBO Max... as soon as they merged with Discovery, you had all that crap in your face too.
That's fine, but that's Warner and Discovery's problem. When it comes to Disney Plus, that's a Disney Plus app problem because I have Hulu Plus.
Yeah.
The Disney Plus content, not in the Hulu app at all. Disney Plus decided, and the powers that be decided, they were going to merge the Hulu stuff into the Disney Plus app.
Yeah.
Bad move. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Keep that on its own thing.
Like I said, I don't even mind it. Just give me an icon selection when the app boots up.
Yes,
that's all I'm asking for.
I agree.
And then you can get rid of the Hulu app.
I agree. And from a brand protection perspective, Disney should be cognizant of that and not show that stuff because of the reasons you just said.
Right. Okay, so casting of Galactus, they cast some guy to voice Galactus.
People seem to be excited about it.
He's got a good voice for it.
Okay,
sure, great.
Cool. I don't have any thoughts beyond that. If he's got
put him in the pantsless suit,
you want that? You want pantsless suit?
I want no pants on Galactus.
I don't. I could take or leave the pants.
That's the title of this episode. I want no pants on Galactus.
No pants. Noted. However, I will be a staunch advocate for the G on the belt buckle.
Okay, fine. As long as he's got no pants.
Pants or no pants, I want the G on the belt buckle. I don't care. Give it to me now. And also, well, we're not going to get... See, here's the thing. I want to be optimistic about the Fantastic Four because I feel like Marvel feels like they need to really nail this one, and the casting has been rock solid so far. No pun intended for the thing. Rock solid. See what I did there? Okay.
They cast John Malkovich.
I saw that. Who's he going to play? We don't know.
They cast Stingray.
We got Stingray. Casting, to be fair, casting has never really been a problem in the MCU. It's the execution in the last little while that we've taken issue with. Casting, though, has always been a strength in the they've pretty much nailed everybody. At worst, they've always been safe. Yeah, at worst.
Yeah.
Which, fine, but they haven't
and that's I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
No.
Yeah.
It's when you wildly missed that we've
right. They
haven't had the Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor, gambit.
Yeah.
Where it's whoa. What are we doing here?
And they're between Fantastic Four and X-Men, you've got some big characters in there that you the casting is what you really need to nail. I also saw, and this has pretty much just been, I saw a couple tweets on this, a rumor that Ryan Gosling has been cast as Ghost Rider. I can see it. Yeah, that's fine.
I have not seen Barbie, mind you.
I've not seen Barbie either. And that's not a knock against Barbie. I just haven't seen it.
I don't get out to the movies, so I have not seen. I did not do the Barbenheimer, thing.
Yeah,
I have not seen Oppenheimer either. So don't at me. But from what I have seen of Ryan Gosling, I used to think years ago, pre Blade Runner 2049. Is that the movie?
Yeah.
Okay. Prior to that movie, and I haven't seen that movie either, mind you. Right. So I'm really showing my ass here, but I digress.
What language, sir? Sorry.
My thoughts on Ryan Gosling were he's a blank slate, nothing actor. I had no perception of him. In the last couple years, I have shifted entirely. I have not seen anything that he's been in. Yet, anytime I do see him in something like his SNL appearances and just in general, his vibe, I like him now.
Yeah.
And I say that without seeing anything that he's been in, but I think like I said, I've seen the skits he's been in on Saturday Night Live, and I'm like, this guy's awesome.
The alien abduction ones are always the best with Kate McKinnon.
I did not see those, but I'm so as a technically I'm a developer, but I have a designer brain too.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not a designer, that stupid Avatar Papyrus sketch has lived rent free in my brain for a decade, and they did a sequel to it recently, and it was also amazing. And then, did you see the Beavis and Butthead sketch?
I've seen pictures of it.
You have to see it.
And I know he did it on the red carpet for Fall Guys.
That I have not seen that, but just that skit, I was skeptical of how good is this going to be? It's amazing. It's very, very funny. Very funny. No, they're not doing an impression. They just look like them.
Okay.
And it's stupidly funny to watch other people react against what they look like. Anyway, Ryan Gosling, put him in the MCU. Sure, why not?
Yeah. Alan also mentioned Microsoft closing studios. The entire video game industry is going through a constriction right now. Well,
I got spoilers. It's not just the video game industry. As someone who works in technology, I will tell you, it's a scary time for anyone in the technology industry. The bigwigs have decided that, line must go up, so the C-suite must eat and must never be without. Therefore, thousands of developers need to be laid off so that, Phil Spencer and Bobby Kotick stay in the black for the year. Okay. Great. Thanks, guys. Yeah, Microsoft, and getting into Microsoft specifically, they are in a weird, I don't know. Dude, I don't think Microsoft's long for this earth in the gaming industry. I don't see the Xbox being a thing, and they're in denial about, they're publicly not saying that, but all their moves point to them hedging that they're not going to be making an Xbox for very long.
Yeah, they're just going to put everything behind Game Pass, and
Game Pass is going to be available wherever they can put Game Pass, and Microsoft is going to be a publisher / storefront for games.
Yeah.
And hardware, Xbox, is not going to exist anymore. That's how it reads to me. And now you've got them laying off studio after studio. They're definitely shoring up. They're shoring things up just to look good. Yeah. To what end? I don't know. Is Microsoft a bigger gambit in play where they're going to sell off the Xbox? I don't know. But it's not good. It's not good. Microsoft is... They talk out of both sides of their mouth. That's the problem.
Yeah.
They will proclaim, Phil Spencer specifically, will proclaim all the virtues of the all the games and all the developers that put in so much work, and we're the big stalwarts of gaming, and backward compatibility is important to us, and yada, yada, yada. And then do things that fly in the face of everything he just said. Yeah. Bro, don't tell me, show me.
Yeah.
And you're showing me something else. And you're showing me that you're just as cold a corporation as ever. And you're probably not going to be in this race for too long. This might be it for them. Anyway,
wouldn't surprise me.
We'll see. But that's my vibe on Xbox right now.
JJ Semino wants us to talk about Kenny Omega's abs.
We did promise Jay an appearance on the show, by the way.
Did, yeah. We got some fun stuff in the hopper.
Okay.
It's going to be fun.
Jay's going to be back down here, for sure. For sure.
He wants us to talk about Kenny Omega's abs.
Yeah, for a guy who had diverticulitis and was near death, he showed up on Dynamite a couple weeks ago, and then, by the way, Kenny in a suit and sunglasses, that's final boss Kenny Omega, by the way. He should just always wear that because he will always look like I'm not one to mess with.
Yeah.
Then he ripped his shirt open, and for a guy with diverticulitis, allegedly on death's door or whatever, somehow more yoked than ever.
He's not knocking on death's door. He's kicking it down.
Yeah, for real. Oh my God. Yeah, I suspect Kenny already had whatever procedure / surgery or treatment done, and he's been fine, and he's just been resting and getting stupid jacked again. Because here he is the week after a vicious attack by the Young Bucks and Okada.
Yeah.
The week after he announces that they're going to do an Anarchy in the Arena match. Oh, Kenny, work me, Kenny. Work me so hard.
An Anarchy in the Arena looks good.
Let's go. Look, I know AEW is not perfect, but you give me all the talent involved in that Anarchy in the Arena match. Yeah.
You give me Eddie Kingston in an Anarchy in the Arena match.
Eddie Kingston's going to light somebody on fire. It's going to happen.
This time, Bryan Danielson's not going to stop him. Okay, so Andrea Perry would like to know our thoughts on the recently unveiled Superman suit.
Okay, I'm glad she asked that. So we've been all waiting with bated breath to see something from James Gunn's Superman movie. So now we get the suit. Let's look at this from a good, bad perspective. Colors. They're good.
Little drab. But it might also be the lighting of the picture, so it's hard to tell. But
it's fine.
As I will say numerous times in this discussion,
show me.
See the Christopher Reeve suit?
Yeah.
Do that.
Well, you can't.
Yes, you can.
A modern audience isn't going to go for that.
I don't care.
I know you don't care. Okay, so colors. Yeah, they're fine. I like more than I thought I would. I like the Alex Ross symbol. I like it. I like it.
See the Christopher Reeve suit? Do that.
I feel you. But you know what? You've got that. You can look at that. It's fine. We're getting into something different and new, and I'm okay with that. The trunks are back. I can't swear on this show, Carl, but I'm saying, yeah. James Gunn knew the assignment. He nailed it.
You're doing the Jonah Hill Moneyball gift, the closing of the...
Is that what it is?
Fist.
Okay, yeah, I'm doing that. We knew what we had to do, and we're doing it. Good job. Absolutely nailed it. My only, the things I don't like about it, and to be fair, there's no guarantee that he's only going to have one suit in the movie. So let's just pause for a moment. My only thing about it is the collar. They're doing the new 52 collar look.
Yeah, the Imperial collar.
And I just
doesn't work.
It looks too authoritarian for super. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just looks a little too formal.
A little too Red Sun Superman.
Yes, that's a good specific example of what I'm getting at. He looks a little too stiff. However, I see a spit curl in there, Carl, and he looks big.
Yeah.
Not that Henry Cavill didn't look big, but this what's his name? I'm sorry, his full name, his passport name.
Corn Sweetwater. I don't.
Corn Sweetwater.
I don't know the guy's name.
Is it James Corn Sweat? Is that it? Forgive me on the first name because I'm, as we found out last week on the show, I'm bad.
Pumpkin sweat. What's it? Some sort of vegetable and human fluid. I don't know.
Well, in any case, Carl, I think he looks the part. He looks very big, and he's a Superman.
Yeah, looks. It's one thing to see a picture, and the
David Corenswet.
Okay,
my bad. Apologies, Superman. Please don't come at me.
Yeah. The pose was interesting but different. It was very James Gunn, which I can get behind. So
people, the internet's having a field day with the pose.
The internet's giving us some great stuff with that picture.
And what I would like to I always look at things.
But apparently, the thing in the background, the Death Star beam thing,
we'll get to that.
Kind of straight out of All Star Superman.
It's Solaris, probably. In fact, I'm inclined to believe it is, especially as of today, because I saw Grant Morrison post a picture of the sun in his backyard, and he captioned it Solaris something or other. So
yeah.
If Grant Morrison is referencing things, I'm going to presume, yep, it's Solaris.
Yeah.
Now, does that mean that Solaris is going to be the villain of the movie? No. But Solaris is in the movie.
Yeah.
And if you've read All-Star Superman or DC 1 Million for the deeper cut fans out there, I recommend you do. Solaris is that's again, as I said earlier, 20 years later, 20 plus years later, Grant Morrison is getting his Hollywood flowers with X-Men and All-Star Superman finally taking hold in the popular culture. Here for it. Here for it, sir. Here for it.
All right. Chris Johnson he wants to talk about Daredevil Born Again when we get more details, but he feels like it's a given that you and I are going to talk about it. We mentioned we were going to talk about this last week, but we actually didn't.
Do you want to cover other things before we get to this thing?
I mean, if you want to just run down the rest of the stuff and we can come back to this.
Let's circle back to Daredevil.
Okay.
And because I have things to say about that. And I'd rather maybe rapid fire some other stuff before we get into the meat of that.
All right. Paco Sanz is binge watching Spider-Man movie with his kids.
Cool.
Paco's an old college roommate of mine, and he sent me his binging schedule. Despite where I'm at with a lot of stuff, kind of being more on the downtrodden side, I'm still trying to make it a point. I'm trying, not necessarily always succeeding. I'm still trying to make it a point not to yuck someone else's yum, because I feel like that is a major contributing problem to a lot of toxic fanhood.
Like, you like this? Here's why it stinks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, like, when I see a schedule and I see, like, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 3, Amazing Spider-Man 2, Venom 1 and 2. A couple years back, I would have been like, dude, you got to forget those. I'm like, you know what? If you're watching them with your kids and they're enjoying them, they're having a good time. He did specifically mention he's not watching Venom with the kids. That's cool.
Yeah.
Have a good time. They're not my cup of tea, but I hope you enjoy them.
Sure.
Yeah.
I would only hope that when you are of sound mind and an age where you're willing to engage with your media a little more critically, that you do so and at least open yourself up to the possibility that there's more to this stuff than just shutting off your brain and taking it in. Like, and I'm not, look, you like what you like, fine. But I feel like a lot of stuff nowadays is like you dig into your camp and you're dug in and that's it.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, even if it's absolute garbage, you dig into it because you're so wrapped up in it that you will not accept any criticism of said thing. And it's so easy nowadays to just find an audience, not I don't even like-minded folk where you're just in this walled-in community where you can not be challenged.
And you're unwilling to change your opinion, even if you're willing to change your opinion. Because if you change your opinion, you're admitting you feel like you're admitting fallacy and that you were wrong. Sure. It's like, no, you taste change, taste evolve, and opinions change. Perfect example. And I know that a lot of people of the Batman 89 generation kind of went through this. Some maybe did, some maybe didn't. I know I did. Like when Batman 89 was kind of your introduction to the character.
Yeah.
Your main line. And then you see Batman 66 and you're like, oh, it's garbage, it's all campy and whatnot. Like I was like that, but then I went back and I watched like, no, this is actually, not only is it good, this is an accurate representation of what the comics were at the time.
Yeah.
Like, this is great. This is just as valid in the Batman history as Batman 89 is, or the Nolan Batmans, or anything like that.
Yeah. That takes maturity and perspective, Carl.
Yeah.
So to get around to circle back to like those Spider-Man movies, like if you enjoy them, great, but do appreciate like there's a reason why they're kind of frowned upon in circles, and because ultimately, like I feel there's
a difference between enjoying something knowing it's bad,
sure,
and making an argument for something
that's bad that is actually good.
No, that's bad, and that like you refuse to acknowledge as being bad.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, like where do I want to go with that?
I don't think this is the case with Paco. I think he's just being a completist, which is fine.
No, that's great. No, I get that. But you know what like the Snyderverse people are exhibit A for me with this stuff.
They're a special breed.
Right. Like they just you can't reason with the unreasonable.
Yeah.
They're dug into this thing and they will not hear any criticism against said thing, even though it's like, dude, I'm willing to engage with this thing on equal footing and in good faith. You are not. Like, here's why I do not think this is good. I'm willing to tell you the things about it that are, but you are unwilling to accept any criticism of this thing. And the fact that this thing has been so maligned that the company itself said, we have to bail. We have to turn this page. And you're still dug in like, well, they're wrong. Well, no, they're not wrong. Like the receipts ultimately, and I'm not receipt guy. You know me. To me, commercial success does not necessarily validate quality.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, people spoke and were like, yo, we ain't about this.
Yeah.
And as a fan of that stuff, no, I wasn't about it either. Like, you're really dug into this thing that people are kind of like, no, actually.
Yeah, and it's like there's...
I don't know.
We've said before, and this is specific to the Snyder stuff, like, these things are kind of like Shakespeare now. They are multi-generational. They're going to be reinterpreted.
Of course.
There's going to be different interpretations, different takes, different performances. But there are core beats of a character that you have to hit.
Yeah.
For it to be...
The character.
Yeah. And like everything else after that is kind of, up for interpretation. Like with Batman. Batman does not kill. That's... Whether you like it or not, whether you agree with it is inconsequential. If you want to portray that character, that's a core tenet you have to adhere to. Superman does not kill.
That's even more, him more so than Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
well,
all right. Less said about the Snyderverse, the better. All right. Moving on. Adam Williams, who we mentioned last week on the show, wants us to talk about board games. He wants me to start watching The Expanse.
I second that.
And guys, it's not going to happen. There's just too much stuff.
No, there's not.
I've got to paint. Okay, I can't.
Do you have a TV down there while you're painting?
No, I watch other things.
You can watch The Expanse.
From everything that you have told me about The Expanse, it does not sound like something that I would want as background noise.
That's not wrong. That said,
yeah, I know. Watch The Expanse. I get it.
It's great. It's so great.
And things we most enjoy doing with our sons. But getting back to board games, what else have we been playing lately that we've really enjoyed?
I like that World Wonders game.
World Wonders. Scout.
Yes.
Has been so much fun.
I can't say the name of the game on this program that Scout reminds me of, but as a proficient and prolific fan of said card game that involves drinking, and it's also part of the human anatomy, Scout reminds me of that in the best ways, minus the drinking, of course. And I do enjoy it. Scout's fun.
Yeah, Scout's a lot of fun. We were doing Coffee Rush for a little while.
Coffee Rush is fun.
Yeah.
I like Coffee Rush. It's funny, man. Like, you
don't necessarily win Coffee Rush.
You just don't. Yeah,
you just try not to lose as bad as everyone else.
And as in terms of like an interpretation of a theme of a game, they pretty much nailed it. Like, yeah, again, having worked in a establishment that was, a food service / coffee service establishment, when rush period hits, that's kind of what it's like.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's accurate. We've probably played it's only been a couple years since the last podcast. So, yeah, we played a bunch of games.
Marvel Champions is still popular with us.
We are big Champions fans, yes. Yeah. Champions is great. We're due for a Champions Day, actually.
Yeah.
Get that on the calendar.
Put it in chat and get a date for us to continue our campaign.
Yep. Masters of the Universe, we may have talked about that.
Masters of the Universe. Alan's brought a couple that have been really great. The For Sale.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun. The Ink and Gold.
Yes.
Viticulture didn't go super smooth the first time we played it, but I would not be opposed to giving it another shot.
Fair.
I think if we just try to hammer down the rules a little bit more, that might be one that, because that's an engine building game that kind of, yeah, I'd like to give it another shot.
We probably didn't talk about, I don't remember. It's been a couple years, but like old favorites, Clank and Clank Underworld, was that the one?
Clank Underground.
Underground. I enjoy those games.
No, Clank Catacombs.
Catacombs. Yeah. That's the one. Yes, I like.
Yeah, Catacombs.
I like Catacombs a lot.
I was shocked. For me, it's my preferred version of Clank. Now.
I kind of agree. I like Catacombs quite a bit. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Board games. Favorite things we like to do with our kids. Put them to bed.
Yeah. Well, look, our sons are at ages where like our patience is being tested on a minute by minute basis.
Yeah.
That said, that's not. I don't want to sound like a total negative parent. Playing when Grant wants to like hang out and just play video games, not for nothing, I get tired. I do get tired of it because we're playing the same games over and over again.
Yep.
And like, there's other things I'd rather be doing a lot of the time. But it's a simple joy, man. Like, we just hang out and we're playing games. We're playing video games together.
Playing games.
And I stop myself often just like to marvel at like, this kid is not even 6 yet. He's crushing Pikmin 4 like on his own. Like, he's crushing Portal and Portal 2 on his own. And he asked me for help and I have to help out. And then sometimes he'll hand me the controller while he goes and does something else nearby and watches. And I still, if I stop, there's hell to pay. But I got to play, he gets to watch, but we're playing together. It's still pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. William and I play games fairly regularly. Gang Beasts is a favorite of his, which is like just kind of like ragdoll brawling game. So we do that. Wreckfest is so much fun. It's insanely fun. Watch it. There is a certain amount of pride that swells up in me when I watch him play Spider-Man and seeing him like take down 20 plus thugs at once with like outbreaking a sweat. But like when we get to play like He-Man together, like the toys, the Origins toys, that's always a lot of fun. And he's every once in a while, I can get him to come downstairs with me. It's tricky, like when I try to get him to come downstairs with me while I'm painting, to come downstairs, like do other things than like bring the Switch with him or something, or like a screen with him. So
does he want to paint?
Well, you guys got him that Minecraft painting thing for his birthday.
Yeah.
And I still have it there, and I keep like picking the right time is key, is crucial.
Grant is very crafty.
He is extremely crafty.
He loves to build stuff.
He can make stuff out of clay that I couldn't even do.
Modeling. He is better at modeling clay than I ever was in my entire life.
Yeah.
And he's not even 6 yet. But we also, and at a young age, he got into, I probably talked about this 2 years ago on this show. He discovered he could build Mystery Science Theater 3000 robots out of junk.
Yes, I can tell.
Well, I built these ones. These are actual screen accurate replicas that I've constructed. But he built his own mock-ups of these out of cans and junk when he was like 3. And then he got really into watching me and / helping me build these robots. These two that you see here down here. I have a Crow and a Tom Servo down in my office that are screen accurate from a kit, but they are actual, screen accurate replicas of the robots. So we did that. I built Crow last year. Tom Servo was first about 2 years ago. And he got really into watching me do that and helping me do that with the paint. He spray painting, and he knows the process. He's watched the YouTube videos on how to build these Mystery Science Theater 3000 robots 1,000 times. He knows how to do it. Crow was the year after. He got really into that because that Crow is much more advanced. There's a lot more to it, and there was a lot of steps involved that he got to hang out and watch me do and help, air quotes, help with.
Yeah.
And I built him his own facsimile cheapy versions of these. I had extra parts or similar enough cheap junk parts, or he finds Tupperware or to-go containers that look enough like the parts of the Crow T robot that he'll go, Daddy, this is Crow's body. Let's drill a hole here, and he makes me do we do these things. It's incredible. So this year, the last few months, we started building GPC from we missed out on the I want to say the last but hopefully not final season of the show. The modern GPC is smaller than the original and more manageable, more easily built, parts more readily accessible. So I started. I got Crow and Servo. Let's go for
Gypsy.
3. Let's get Gypsy in here. So we started doing that, and now she's almost done. I just have to finish a couple of things to get her done. But now that he helped out, we got it mostly done. But now that there's the final 3 steps to go, every other day or so he'll be like, Daddy, can we do Gypsy work? Daddy, can we do Gypsy work? Yeah, maybe. What kind of time are we looking at here? Dude, kind of mind-bending. It's kind of mind-bending that a show that I grew up with when I was a kid into my, young teenage years, and now my not yet 6-year-old kid is into it, or at least into the robot building portion of it. Kind of awesome. Kind of cool. Kind of gives me some beaming dad pride. So anyway.
Alrighty. Chris Taylor, expanding on the AEW idea, what are your takeaways of talents you like? Who do you think they could mold? Is there anyone you'd like to see leave, and why is it Sammy Guevara? So I'm going to answer that last part first.
Okay.
I do not want Sammy Guevara to leave because he's incredibly talented in ring. I think he needs some character work. I think he needs they need to decide what they want to do with this presentation.
Yeah, that's the thing. He needs consistency.
Yeah. Because
face, heel. He's with Jericho. Get him away from Chris Jericho.
Chris Jericho was going to be the one that I would say I would like to see leave.
Yes. I can't miss you if you don't go away.
Yeah.
Chris, go away for a year.
I'm good with him not coming back at all. Just.
No.
Go away.
No, you will miss him eventually.
No, I won't.
You say that until the nostalgia pop hits. Then you don't even.
But I don't have nostalgia for him.
You don't.
I don't have nostalgia.
You know why you don't? Because he's never gone away. You need him to go away for a while.
But like even when I watched wrestling before AEW, it was never like I never watched Chris Jericho.
But that's
so I have no nostalgia for him whatsoever.
Well, I do. I was a Jerichoholic as a young boy, and I still like. I respect his ability to get almost anything over. It's kind of uncanny. Having said that, I've been tired of him on television for over a year. 2 years.
Yeah.
He needs an extended break. He needs to go away. And look, if this is his primary paycheck, and I've heard Fozzy, so it must be, you don't even have to go away from the company. But don't be on television. Go backstage.
Be a producer.
Be a producer. Work with the kids. Do whatever you want. Be a book. Hey, help Tony Khan book because Lord knows TK's overworked. Okay?
Yeah.
Just don't be on television. And then when you do show up again, it'll matter more. Like, oh, Jericho's here for a reason. If he's here, it must mean something that he's back for a reason. But we can't have that because now he's just leading into meta internet stuff where the Jericho vortex, which is a derogatory term that we have on the internet for him, now it's just part of his lexicon because he's doing the thing. Now he's the learning tree and he's just... he's steering into everything we hate. And I'm not for nothing. I find myself angry with myself because I want him to go away. And I want to hate what he's doing, yet he finds a way to turn it on me and make it somewhat entertaining.
I don't care. I just want him to go away. Him and Matt Hardy.
Matt Hardy's gone.
Matt Hardy's pretty much gone, so that's good. Who do we like? What are takeaways of talent we like? Who we think they can mold?
I like everybody.
Yeah, talent.
Almost.
Yeah, talent we like. I mean, you can't understate. If someone came to me and said, I'm curious about getting into wrestling, what match should I watch? Will Ospreay, Bryan Danielson.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean,
it's the absolute zenith of the art form.
I mean, in AEW, for sure.
Yeah, I mean...
anything Ospreay.
The ones we like are going to be kind of like, I think, more off the main line personal favorites. Like, I love Rey Fenix, but can't
stay healthy,
Stay healthy.
Look, here's the thing. Whoever is hot in wrestling, they're going to end up, or people are going to fan book into AEW, right?
Yeah.
And that's great. AEW is kind of built on that kind of who's hot on who's the hot guy no one's heard of, or that wrestling fans that are not WWE fans have heard of.
Right.
Let's get them into AEW. And AEW has been built around that for a while. Great. Here's the thing that's catching up with them. Now that they're the number 2 promotion, whatever was not WWE is no longer the hot thing. Like, AEW's talent pool, let's say, of hot underground guys is drying up.
Yeah.
NJPW aged out, the NJPW guys that built NJPW the last decade are in AEW now.
Pretty much.
So AEW now needs to sink or swim with these guys. AEW is out of guys they can pluck. They're not. I mean, there's always going to be someone, but the pool is thinning of guys they can pluck out of the ether that are hot, and they can just plug into their roster.
Yeah.
Like you're running out of guys you can poach. More or less. I don't want to say poach. That's the wrong word, but that's the closest word I can think of.
Yeah.
You're running out of hot acts that aren't WWE. You're the other company now. You have to sink or swim with these guys, and you've got to build the guys yourself now. And I think they need to really focus on that part of it. Like, you have to build guys yourself. You need to to build AEW talent. And I'm sitting here struggling to think, like, well, who have they built themselves? And I'm like, who, Carl? Who has AEW effectively built that weren't already indie darlings or NJPW darlings? MJF, Darby. Anyone else you can think? Willow Nightingale?
Yeah.
She counts. She absolutely counts. She rules. Who else have they built?
Britt Baker?
Yes, I'll give you Britt Baker. And to be fair, Sky Blue putting in the work.
Yeah.
She's pretty much an AEW stalwart at this point. They built her.
Julia Hart?
Still green, but over.
Yeah.
But over. But on the look on the men's side,
Jack Perry?
I'm gonna say yes with an asterisk, and here's the thing. They built him, but is he really a GOAT? Is he a proven commodity yet?
I think the next 3 to 4 months are going to be key in answering that question.
Okay, fair. I like him, and I like that they're steering into everything that's gone on with him, and he's owning it.
Because, like, what I always
but
say...
he's got to show up in the ring.
What I always say early on, when it was clear that he was a talent and he could perform in the ring, and we were saying, we're going to get big things from this kid. I said 2 things. I said, get rid of Marco Stunt.
Well, he's gone.
And get rid of the whole jungle gimmick.
I still disagree with that. I think he could have ran with that longer. Or at least he didn't have to abandon the term Jungle Boy. He could still be Jungle Boy. He didn't have to completely get rid of it. But, I mean, Nature Boy Ric Flair is still... Rick.
Do you really want it?
Well, look, Ric Flair, for all of his... many faults in the context of pro wrestling, strictly on-screen character Ric Flair, he's the Nature Boy Ric Flair until he dies. And that's just who he is. Jungle Boy could have been the same thing. He's Jungle Boy Jack Perry until he dies, regardless of what his character is.
Yeah, but even that, like with Ric Flair, like Nature Boy, that was just kind of like a nickname. And whereas like Jungle Boy was like, I'm from the jungle.
Yeah. But it didn't have
those kind of gimmicks are just
I'm agreeing with you.
I'm no wrestling expert here, but those gimmicks
got a shelf life.
Like outdated.
That's fine, but you could still be Jungle Boy Jack Perry and not do the gimmick. It's just your name. It's just your nickname. It's Hangman Adam Page. Is he an actual hangman? No.
Yeah.
The Undertaker was still The Undertaker when he was doing a biker gimmick with tobacco and a motorcycle, okay? Like, it's fine. You can do the name without having to carry over the baggage of the character. Yeah. Anyway, I still think AEW needs to... look, you got to start building your own guys now.
Yeah.
You have to show. You got to show it.
And this is not even a dead horse. This horse is being fossilized right now. Like, you have got you've got the best women's roster going in professional wrestling today.
Yeah.
Arguably one of the all-time best women, just strictly looking at the roster, the talent that's on there. Like, you have no more excuses. And the way you are still handling them is criminal. Like, the negligent booking of the women is really getting bad at this point with the talent that you have.
To be fair, it's better than it's been in a long time.
That's not saying anything.
It's not. I'll say this. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. But it has not been terrible the last little while. The Willow and Mercedes thing is good. There is legitimate beef there, and they're leaning into it, and it's fine. And then in the main, Toni Storm can do no wrong. Sorry, not sorry. She's gold. Yeah. The only problem is, here's the problem. There is a problem. I will concede you this. She's so good at it that she's too over to be a heel. So, like, poor Serena Deeb, who I love, by the way.
Yeah, Serena Deeb's great.
But she has to go out there this past week and talk about, like, her real life stuff. Number one, she's in Edmonton, and they didn't care. They're cheering for the Oilers.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
There was a playoff game going on.
Yeah.
While, yeah.
Suboptimal with that. But on top of that, no matter how much we might like her, you're trying to babyface her against Toni Storm, and Toni Storm, she's just too over right now in this gimmick. You're not going to get her booed, man. So, like, poor Serena Deeb is just not going to come off as the people want to cheer against Toni Storm right now.
And here's the thing is, like, Toni Storm's gotten so good with the character, the timeless Toni Storm character. Maybe this is just me, but, like, she doesn't need the belt anymore.
No, and
I would love to see them. They won't. I get that they won't because
they love belts in this company
for Mariah May. But I would love to see them just surprise everyone, put on Serena Deeb.
Hey, maybe it'll happen. Double or Nothing coming up, but like, I don't know, man. Too many belts in the company. The weird thing with the women's division is that the TBS title, the TBS title and the women's title, there's like no perceived difference in prestige in between them. Yeah. And with the men's titles, there's a pecking order. Like, there's definitely a pecking order.
Right.
But the women's titles almost seem like on equal footing to me. I don't know what I'm trying to say with that, but it just perceptually is weird.
Yeah, and it's just that the company just has too many belts.
Oh, way too many belts. We need to get rid of some belts.
Yeah. So that's kind of where we are at with AEW.
Mind you, still love the company, still love the pay-per-views, and the talent is putting in the work. So,
yep.
And I'm sorry, not sorry. I still prefer it to WWE 10 times out of 10. Not sorry. Come at me. I don't care. WWE is never going to be for me. It's just not. For a litany of reasons, it's just never going to work for me anymore. It will not.
Longtime friend of the show, Mr. Cyrus Moore. I've been on an Invincible kick. Season 2 didn't quite live up to Season 1, but it's hard to see. What we talk about, don't yuck someone's yum. But it's hard to see how it could have. Just a tremendous series with great writing and characters. I'm not watching Invincible, so...
Let me take this one?
Go for it.
Okay. Cyrus, I'm happy that you're enjoying Invincible. And to anyone listening to this show, if you are watching Invincible and you love it, hey man, I'm happy you enjoy it. I'm thrilled for you. Let me come at you with my perspective. I gave Invincible a few episodes of the first season. I am someone who has been reading Invincible since the early teens of the comic series. I absolutely adore Invincible, the comic series, and it's one of my all-time favorite comic series ever. Full stop. When I was at when it was going on, I said, this is the best Spider-Man comic going today. It's everything Spider-Man should be and is not. Invincible is heartfelt. Invincible is action-packed. Invincible is superhero comics as they should be. And it's unimpeachable, short of one thing in the and I can't talk about it on this show, that there's one thing that happened in the comic that I think was a huge misfire, but it never hindered the whole series. And I was as excited as anybody about the prospect of a TV show. I watched the TV show for a few episodes, and my takeaway was they are focusing entirely on the wrong things about this property. They again, only a few episodes. Maybe I'm off base, but my takeaway from those few episodes was, they're just they saw Invincible as a vehicle for hyper violence and added more profanity that is in the comics, and that's what they think the appeal is. And to me, is the comic hyper violent at times? Yes. But I never saw it as a gratuitous vehicle for violence. The comic built up to those moments and had enough heart and story behind it that anything like that happened just felt natural and earned in the comic. I'm not into the TV show. I'm just, for the reasons I mentioned. I feel like it's gratuitous, and they just feel the need to be gratuitous. And I think that is grossly missing the point.
Yeah. So I've had a number of people I know over the past couple of years come up to me and ask me if I'm watching either Invincible or The Boys.
Sure.
And I tell them I'm watching neither. And a lot of times these are not generally people who are your traditional comic fan or type person.
Yeah.
And they're surprised that I tell them I'm watching neither. My explanation, the fact that I watch neither is like, especially given the condition of the world we're living in right now, these are stories I go to for hope, inspiration, and to see the potential of what we can be towards each other in a better way. And I know this is kind of something we've discussed on the show in the past. The deconstruction of the superhero mythos, while perfectly valid and something that's been going on since 1986, I'm just kind of over it.
It's been done.
Tired of it.
Yeah.
I don't need the mythos to be deconstructed anymore. If anything, I just kind of want the mythos to be celebrated again and enjoyed and understood for what it is. Which is why like Invincible and The Boys have no appeal to me whatsoever.
I would again appeal to you if you have not. Did you read the comics?
You loaned me like one of the big omnibus ones. I got a couple issues in. I just didn't have time for it.
Oh well,
it's not
the time.
It's not that it wasn't gripping me.
If I gave you the first like 3 trades again, I feel like you'd fall in love all over again. When it comes to The Boys, not that this was asked about, but I'll give you my take on that as well. I'm a Garth Ennis fan. Just hands up. I like Garth Ennis comics plenty. What I will say about Garth Ennis, though, is that he does not like superheroes, and I knew that. I've known that for a long time.
Yeah.
Now, given the fact that he works in comics, inevitably he will be asked to write superheroes or about them or engage with them in some capacity, and that's where his dislike of superheroes comes out. That be that in The Punisher or in DC when he wrote Hitman. Ironically, for someone who doesn't like superheroes, he seemed to like Superman a bit in that. So weird irony there, but I'm going to pause on that. I never liked The Boys comic either, because even as a Garth Ennis fan, and I understand the reasoning that he has why he does not like superheroes. I hear and I appreciate, and he's not wrong. But even as a fan of his work, I found The Boys comic to be just way too cynical, even for me. Just way too much. I just couldn't get there.
Yeah.
So I know the show now is very popular. People love the show. It's not for me. I can't get there. I just can't get there.
Yeah. Like I don't know. And I mean, it kind of shows you how having not read them, either one, The Boys or Invincible, I'm guessing there's distinct and huge gaps of differences between the two comics.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
It's
and then like,
not even close.
The shows come out and they're just basically two notes of the same song. So much so that you've got like Homelander and Omni-Man both appearing in the current Mortal Kombat game.
See, that bothers me. Your observation of that and the way that you just distilled that bothers me, because you're right in your observation, and I feel like that's the observation that most people are getting, and to me, that's wrong. That's
at least on the Invincible side.
They could not be any more different.
Yeah,
they radically worlds different properties, like not even close.
Right.
But the way they're perceptually being interpreted in these media, the same, and that's wrong. It's not right. It's just not right.
So, and again, I feel compelled to say only because like it's something I'm trying to be so cognizant of with myself, is that especially with Cyrus, because Cyrus has been such a great supporter of the show for such a long time. We appreciate that you like the show. We like that you like the show, and we're glad that you're getting some fulfillment out of it, and that it's something that is entertaining you. Please do not let our comments or our opinions on these things take away from any of that.
If anything, I would just implore, if you have not read the comics, please do.
Yeah.
Like, please do.
Yeah. And really that goes for anything we've discussed up to this point, or anything we will discuss. If it's something you're enjoying, please, by all means, keep enjoying
it, man.
Like, apart from us, we appreciate that you're here. We appreciate you listening to us. But again, it's just something that I've become very cognizant of, not to essentially crap all over what people like, because what is it ultimately helping?
Yeah.
What is ultimately helping? Okay. Danny Santa Lucia. Have either of you, do you know this person?
I do. I do.
Have either of you been to any recent theatrical re-releases? I recently saw Alien, The Mummy, and we'll be going to see The Crow at the end of the month. More often than not, there are behind-the-scenes segments and interviews, which are pretty cool. This is something that's been happening probably over the past decade or so.
Sure. That
I'm really all behind, and that is classic films getting re-released. Not just by, like, Fathom or things like that, but, like, we have a theater in the area, the North Park Theater.
Sure.
Which always does, like, classic screenings. We saw RoboCop there one time. I saw Big Trouble in Little China there on the big screen. I saw Superman, the original Christopher Reeve Superman. There was great. I haven't been to, like, I know they did all the Spider-Man movies recently. Episode 1's been back in theaters for the 25th anniversary. God, time is a funny thing. I'm all for these because...
Oh, same. Totally.
Because Lord knows new movies aren't really driving people to theaters that much.
Well, I can't. That's a get off my lawn. Thing. But no, I'm all for. Again, if time were not a factor, if I were not a father, if I did not have bigger responsibilities in my life, I would be going to a lot more of those screenings, because I have gone, not in the last 5 years, but I have gone to screenings of old movies. I saw the original Ghostbusters on the big screen.
Yep.
I saw not a movie, but I saw they screened the Star Wars. I'm sorry, take it back. The Star Trek pilot, the the Cage. I take it back, the Cage, the Christopher the original. I saw that on the big screen.
Yeah.
Like they screened that once.
I think later this month
It was
they're
great.
doing the first 3 episodes of Transformers.
Cool.
Big screen because it's the 40th anniversary.
Sure. I'm all for that stuff, man. Like theaters need to be celebrated. I still, again, as someone who does not get out to the movies as much as he wishes he did, anytime I do, I don't take for granted the experience that I'm getting. There is just something about a great big screen with great big sound in a cathedral built to experience this thing.
Yeah.
It matters. You can tell me all day long how your house has a bigger TV with better stereo sound and no one on their phone. Yeah, I get it.
You're not going to get the audience going nuts when Cap picks up the hammer.
Well, there is that, of course,
in your home.
But like the place you're in does matter.
Yeah.
I know it's cliche, but I'm sentimental like that, dude. And
what are some classics that you haven't had a chance to see on the big screen yet that you would like to?
Oh,
like
wow.
2 or 3.
On the big screen?
Yeah.
Batman 89. Because the last time I did was I was 7. I mean, I don't remember.
I saw it when they did the re-release.
So I'd go to that.
Yeah.
I've seen all the Star Wars, albeit the special editions, but I've seen Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Wrath of Khan, I would like to see on the big screen.
Yeah. For me, Godfather, the original Godfather.
I would say the Godfather, or 2. 1 or 2, fine, sure.
Pulp Fiction, I've never seen.
I was just going to say Pulp Fiction. Yeah. Insert Tarantino movie here. I would go see, even though I have seen most of them post Pulp Fiction on the big screen. Yeah. I have actually. So, I've seen RoboCop on the big screen. So Predator. I'd like to see Predator on the big screen.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Tombstone.
Ooh, yes. Tombstone. And also, The Crow being brought up again. Boy, we haven't talked about the Crow. When the time comes, no, we don't. When the time comes, we will. When I was a boy, and I was but a budding goth rock metal boy.
Yeah.
I saw The Crow 6 times in the theater as a youth. So I've seen it. I love it to this day.
And we did a whole episode on The Crow once, and it was that thing that finds you at that right moment in your life where it just has like a tremendous amount of influence. And like for me, it was like, dude, when I was in high school, The Crow was it was part of my identity.
I feel you, man.
Like I had the leather trench coat.
Yeah.
I had hair as long as my Catholic high school would allow me to grow it longer in the summer times.
Yeah, I heard, Chef.
Signed yearbooks with quotes from the movie.
Sure.
The makeup.
Well, I guess
sketched on my notebooks. I have an incredibly loved and worn copy of the graphic novel.
We'll have to revisit The Crow when the well, I'm not saying we're going to see the new movie, but
I'm not going to see the new movie.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Missing the point.
No. I feel you.
The violence was not the point.
We'll get to it when it comes out.
Somebody asked me, somebody from like who's known me since high school.
Yeah.
They're like, when the trailer for the new movie dropped, they're like, "What do you think of the new trailer?" And I just responded, "No."
Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
I don't want to say too much. My my short answer regarding The Crow right now, we'll move on after this, is not good. However, I'm also not the target audience, so I'm going to let that be for now.
Yeah.
That is my devil's advocate answer for now.
Okay.
Moving on. Are we out of question? No.
Right. We're going to circle back to...
this is it, huh?
To Chris Johnson's Daredevil question.
Daredevil. You waited an hour and 25 minutes into this podcast here. Let's talk about Daredevil.
Jeez.
On the Devil's Due podcast. Okay. What do you want to say about Born Again?
Glad that
Where are you?
I'm glad that we're getting it.
Yes.
I'm glad that they course corrected.
Yes.
From what all the reports of the initial things were that, Foggy and Karen were dead. And
sure.
All the yada yada. I'm not super thrilled about the Punisher coming back, only because I think it's time that with everything real world going on around it, I just think it's time that character be put to bed for a good long time, if not for good. I don't think I think the character has the wrong type of impact now for the type of stories you want to tell with the character. People just kind of learn the wrong lessons and gain the wrong messages. But other than that, I'm glad that they're not throwing out everything that happened in the Netflix show, that everyone is coming back, including like Vanessa. And
I love that. I love that.
And I'm glad it's not just going to be 8 episodes. I thought Matt coming back in She-Hulk was great.
Yeah. So good to see him.
I think it was a nice lightening enough of the tone for the character in comparison to the Netflix. It was that other side of the character that you see in comics that you didn't see in the Netflix show.
Yeah, and at the same time, and while at the same time not fundamentally changing the character. Right. It was still Matt.
Yeah.
It was him.
It was just that different, you got the cavalier and somewhat cocky Matt Murdock that is just as much of the character in the comics as the brooding and Catholic guilt-ridden character that we got.
The pendulum swings hard the other way sometimes.
Yeah, it does. It does. But both are completely valid interpretations of the character.
They made the yellow costume work.
They did. They did. There goes my phone.
That's fine. I'm very excited for Born Again, and I'm very happy with all of the course corrections as you mentioned, because it was a weird emotional roller coaster we went on. We're getting it back. Oh,
yeah.
We're on cloud 9. Yay. Okay, now we're learning more about it. Foggy and Karen are not in it. Oh, wait. What?
Yeah. Not only are they not in it, they're just dead.
Yeah, well, those details were always murky, but allegedly dead. What? And like things were becoming weird, and it was here's where I'm at with it. Here's where I'm at.
4 episodes in before you even saw him in the costume.
And hey, look, I watched the first season of the show originally. We didn't get him in the costume until the last episode.
Well, at least he was in a costume.
Fair.
And a comics accurate costume.
Okay.
Like he was not in any costume in the first 4 episodes reported.
Allegedly, yeah. Now, all right, fine. My issue, this is where I land. I'm happy they course corrected. I'm happy that there's, whatever, something. This is all on the record, by the way. This is all, you can look all this up. They hit a point where they filmed enough material where Kevin Feige saw it and said, stop. Fired the writers or the directors of the show, and they went back to the drawing board and redid a bunch of stuff and redid the whole show. Okay, great. I'm happy about that. Okay?
Yeah.
I want to be on the record. I'm happy about that, and I cannot wait. Especially as someone who has watched Echo. You have not, I'm not sure, did you finish Echo? Yes or no?
Finish it
yeah,
yet.
okay.
It's not that I wasn't enjoying it.
Fine.
Time.
Yes, I feel you. Time is currency, and we are all underpaid. I did finish Echo. And it left me salivating because D'Onofrio is back.
Yeah.
And he's glorious.
And
and Echo sets up Daredevil in a big bad way. Spoilers for you.
Yeah.
It sets up Daredevil in a big bad way, which is like,
does he show up again beyond the early episode?
Yes. Oh.
Okay.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Anyway, so here I am just going like, yes, give me all of this. You seem to know the assignment. You're letting D'Onofrio he's doing the work.
Yeah.
He is Kingpin. You're not holding back. Believe me when I tell you, they don't hold back. He gets to do some Kingpin things. And
is there an SUV door involved?
No. But you will get a shockingly violent outburst out of him before the end of the show. Spoilers. And yay. Okay? Just from a Marvel sending a message like, hey, we're not going to pull punches here. We know what you want. Okay. Thank you. Heard, Chef. The thing that bothers me is why do you hear the audience? We're going back a little ways now. I'm resetting back to a point when Daredevil was done. We thought it was done. Why do you, Marvel, Kevin Feige, the powers that be, hear the audience demand this? We're clamoring for more. We love this thing. We want more of it.
Yeah.
You know that. You are like, hey, they really want more of this thing. You announce you're going to do more of this thing. You bring back Charlie Cox. You bring back Vincent D'Onofrio. So clearly you understand, they're doing it.
Right.
Okay, great. But then you send these signals that clearly maybe you don't understand at all. Like, you're killing Foggy and Karen. You're not putting him in the suit. You're wildly changing what this thing is. Why does it have to get to a point where you're filming the thing and the head guy, Kevin Feige again, supposed to have his finger on the pulse, supposed to be the guy in charge, has to look at it and go, no, stop. We done goofed. Now look, I'm happy that he recognized that they done goofed.
Yeah.
But the fact that it got that far is just like, what are you doing there? How do we get here? Happy that you recognized, but you should not have gotten there. You should have known from day one what you had to do. How did you screw this up so badly that you had to wildly course correct? Happy you did. Let's see where we get to. But I had your leadership. My faith in your leadership is shaken,
right,
by the fact that you had to get to that point.
I think, and this goes back a long ways. I think that there is always a feeling of, and this is not just with Marvel and Daredevil, this is with any IP. I think there's a lot of times a feeling of, whether it be a writer, director, what have you, of, I want to put my spin on it. I want to make, perfect example, Transformers.
Sure.
Michael Bay is going to make Transformers.
Yep.
Before we saw a single frame picture, I was like, okay, he's very good at doing action. I don't need a lot of depth of story in Transformers. Knock yourself out. And then you see pictures, and you're like, Ugh.
Flames on Optimus.
Why does it look like Johnny Five took a dump and they made the dump turn into a pickup truck? And that's Optimus Prime.
Wow.
Like,
it's a vivid description.
It's like, well, we want him to look like super alien and whatnot. It's like, it's a robot that turns into a truck. We don't need them to look super alien to believe that they are, in fact, alien. Because the reason you're getting to do this is because there's, at the time, 30 plus years of fans who love this thing and would love to see it in live action. They want to see the Transformers they loved and grew up with. They don't want to see your Transformers. They're not going there to see your Transformers. There's something to be said of something has been established for a long time. Now we want to put a different spin on it, which I get. But, like, and especially, which is why what you're saying is so surprising within the Marvel system, because the Marvel system is you're going to do it the Marvel way. If you want to do your thing, there's plenty of other films you can go make. So I think that maybe it's a case of, and I'm not saying that creatives and directors and writers shouldn't have room to riff a little bit on things, but when you're working with an IP, when you're working with someone that has something that has an established fan base, there's a reason why you're getting to work on this thing, because the people want to see this thing. They don't necessarily want to see your version of this thing. Sometimes it works. See Christopher Nolan's Batman. Sometimes it doesn't work. See Michael Bay's Transformers and a litany of other things.
I hear you. To be fair,
G.I. Joe, Rise of Cobra.
Hey. Yeah, well, we've tread that ground.
What's it accelerate, Drew?
What?
The suits.
I don't know
that they wore.
I've mentally blocked out all, like, Wolverine's healing factor. That's gone. Okay, I have completely healed over all that
scar tissue. I still have a dent in my living room floor from you mentally healing from that scar tissue.
Good. No, you're right. The problem is those baby movies made a lot of money. So no,
because and again, if I'm arguing against myself, because a new generation came to that property.
Yeah. The thing is,
enjoyed it, and you know what?
The thing is, though, Carl, they could have done it the way you wanted it and still made that money.
Yeah,
that generation still would have came on board. Like, they didn't have to ruin it to do that.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I'm here at the end of the day. I'm sitting here absolutely pumped for Born Again to see it.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be, they're getting the band back together, and we got a new story to tell, and I know that and everyone involved is there. Let's go. It's the thing, and
it just real quick, because this just sprung to mind. To use an old Kevin Smith analogy, everybody would love an opportunity to put their own spoke in the wheel of something.
Sure,
but you can put your spoke in the wheel the way, again, using the Transformers analogy, you could put your spoke in the wheel the way Michael Bay did.
Where the wheel is now a square?
Where it's clearly... or you could put your spoke in the wheel the way people like Paul Dini and Bruce Timm did with Batman the Animated Series.
Reverence.
With reverence. And they added new things. They added Harley Quinn. They added a Mr. Freeze that was not a joke character. They added things to the wheel within the confines of what people wanted to see.
Sure.
They show you that it can be done, and it can be done very well. And still to this day, many would say, myself included, the pinnacle interpretation of the character outside of the source material.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Born Again.
Born again.
So are we.
We are the Devil's Due born again.
Kind of. Mostly.
Sure. So, yeah. Went on a little longer than we thought we would.
That's okay.
Hey,
That's okay. We're back, baby.
We're back. We thank you so much, listeners.
To be fair, I'm really, I want to just really quickly say I'm so happy to see everyone chime in, checking out the show again. We've been gone a while, and I had no idea if anyone would care, and it turns out, yeah, man, our friends care. So
yeah,
we're here.
And I put that post up like before I came here tonight.
Yeah, it's only been a few hours.
And you guys showed up, and
thank you.
It's humbling.
Thank you.
And honestly, thank you so much. So yeah, we're gonna close down the therapist office for tonight. Get off the couch. Actually, I'm gonna go home and probably
hit the couch.
Hit the couch. So yeah, we appreciate you stopping by. If you want to reach out to us, I would say for now, still probably primarily the best way is Facebook.
You're not checking that email.
I will work on getting the other socials up and running again.
There's to be fair, what socials?
Yeah,
we're not Twitter. Yeah. Since we've been gone, folks, Twitter has gone to be a complete and utter cesspool. Yeah. So yeah, Facebook and
that's saying something because it wasn't the best place in the world when we were around.
It's worse. The Devil's Due Pod at gmail.com. Carl, check the email. Okay. And Facebook, as you guys have been doing on Facebook. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And you don't have to wait for us to post something. If you got something you want us to talk about, post on the wall, message us, start, conversations with others, and dare I say the community.
Talk amongst yourselves, man. Go for it.
So, okay, great. Thanks for joining us. We will be back again at some point.
Yeah, we'll be back.
We'll be back.
We promise.
We'll be back. In POG form? If we started a Patreon, it just paid out in POGs.
You got POGs to pay out?
I don't.
Okay, well.
But we can make POGs.
No. No. We're not doing that.
I'm sure if we went to a flea market somewhere, we could just get POGs and autograph them.
That would only decrease their value.
You get my autograph on a Tony Hawk POG or something. I don't know.
And I appreciate you riffing here, but
no. All right, it's late.
Okay.
Just shut off there.
Okay, bye.
Bye.